Hey there friends, it's Miss Virginia for our weekly science video. I have a read aloud today, Pete the Cat and the Cool Caterpillar. So this is a story about Pete finding a caterpillar and exploring the life cycle of a butterfly. So we're gonna read about Pete with the caterpillar, and then we're gonna talk about the life cycle of a butterfly today. All right. Pete the Cat and the Cool Caterpillar by James Dean. So James Dean is the author, and the title is Pete the Cat and the Cool Caterpillar. Pete is on a bug safari. Closer. There we go. He and his friends are looking for bugs. How many bugs can they find? Callie spots a tiny black ant. It's building an anthill, she says. Groovy, says Pete. Gus finds a round red ladybug in the mint patch. It has 9 spots, says Gus. Nice, says Pete. So they found 2 different insects. They found ants and they found ladybug. Marty sees a big black spider. It caught a fly, he said. Neat, says Pete. Pete finds a green caterpillar in the flower pot. I will bring it home to show Mom and Dad, he said. So it looks like they found an arachnid, and then they found the larva of an insect, because caterpillars are a type of larva, like a baby insect. Mom helps Pete build a home for the caterpillar. They use a big glass jar, or a big jar. Dad puts lots of holes in the lid for air. Pete puts the caterpillar in the jar. So they need holes to make sure that the caterpillar gets some air and doesn't suffocate. Otherwise, the caterpillar would die. Pete puts some leaves in the jar for the caterpillar to eat. He adds a twig for it to crawl on. Good night, Pete, said Mom. Good night, Pete, says Dad. Good night, caterpillar, says Pete. When Pete wakes up, the caterpillar is gone. Where did it go? Did it run away? And Pete looks dismayed. Look at his arms. He's like, oh. It is not gone, says Mom. It did not run away, says Dad. Look, they say. I see something in the caterpillar's jar. The caterpillar is inside there, says Mom. It's called a pupa. So the caterpillar made itself a chrysalis. It wraps itself up. A lot of times when you're not looking, it wraps itself up to go through transformation. It's going to turn into something else. Will it stay in there forever? Asked Pete. Or Pete asked. No, says Dad. The caterpillar is changing into something new. It's going to go on metamorphosis. Big change. What will it become? Asked Pete. Or Pete asks. It's a surprise, says Mom. We must wait to see. Pete waits. Callie comes to visit. Did it come out yet? She asks. Not yet, says Pete. Pete waits some more. Gus comes to visit. Did it come out yet? He asks. Not yet, says Pete. Pete waits even longer. Marty comes to visit. Did it come out yet? He asks. Not yet, says Pete. So Pete has to be patient. He's waiting a while for this change to happen. Pete waits and waits and waits. There's the calendar on the wall. It says May. He's crossing off days, watching the time on his clock. Then one day, something finally happened. So the chrysalis is kind of moving, or the pupa is moving inside the chrysalis. The pupa starts to wiggle. Something is happening, says Pete. It wiggles some more. Everyone comes over to watch. The pupa cracks open and something comes out. What could it be? What do you think it is? What has the caterpillar changed into? A head pokes out and then some legs and 2 colorful wings. The caterpillar changed into a beautiful butterfly. Wow, says Pete. Changed into a monarch butterfly. The butterfly slowly moves its wings up and down. It is ready to fly. They take the jar to the park. Time to say goodbye, says Dad. Pete opens the lid to the jar. That butterfly wants to fly. The butterfly flaps its wings. It flutters out of the jar and lands on Pete's nose. That tickles, he says. Then the butterfly flies up into the sky. Bye-bye, butterfly, everyone says. I wonder what the butterfly was telling Pete. Let's find a new caterpillar, says Pete. Change is pretty cool. So let's talk about the changes. You didn't see this in the story. Ooh, let me turn this down so you can see it all. There we go. So you couldn't see all of this in the story, but the caterpillar actually started off as an egg. So first there's little tiny eggs that a butterfly lays, and the egg hatches into a caterpillar. So from an egg comes the caterpillar. I pulled you too far away. There we go. Okay. We have the egg, which hatches into a caterpillar. So egg to caterpillar, and it's going to go in a circle. This is called a cycle. So the caterpillar makes its chrysalis, becomes a pupa, and then out of the chrysalis and the pupa comes a butterfly. And the butterfly goes to make more eggs, which makes more caterpillars, which make their chrysalis and they become a pupa. And then they turn into butterflies, and it goes around and around and around and around. So the butterfly lays the eggs turn into a caterpillar makes a chrysalis, becomes a pupa, hatches into a butterfly that then lays eggs, and the cycle goes around and around and around. There's a life cycle for anything living, but something similar like this with eggs would be frogs and tadpoles or a toad. They also, chickens have a similar stage of life. A chicken turns into a chick, which turns into a chicken, or a chicken lays an egg, which turns into a chick, which turns into a chicken, which lays an egg. And this is called a life cycle, things that go round and round. Humans have a life cycle. A mom has a baby, or someone has a baby, and then that baby is a toddler, grows into a child, and then it grows into an adult, and it can have his own baby, and the cycle goes round and round and round. So I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about life cycles with our dear friend Pete, and stay tuned to the next science video.